What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collective MMA channel. I'm back with another episode of 5 MMA bets in just 10 minutes. We are going to go across 5 plays between UFC Vegas 120 and PFL Charlotte. Note that PFL Charlotte is going down today, Friday, August 7th, and UFC is going down tomorrow, Saturday, August 8th. Also, side note, at the end of this video, I will touch on the fight that got added to UFC Vegas and also Miles John's new opponent. So definitely stay to the end of this video and I'll touch on those fights. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. With our first bet, we're going to talk about the main event of UFC Vegas 120. Quillan Salkilld straight up on the money line at minus 135. You know, he is a very good striker. He mixes up his strikes well. Good takedown defense. He hasn't been taken down a couple times, but when he does, he usually scrambles or finds a way back to the feet. And he's got some good grappling. And this one, he's gonna have a lot of pathways to win. And on the Gamrot side, I really think he's only gonna have one. I think it's pretty much gonna be takedown, Salkilld, and try to win minutes, lay and pray type style. And I don't think that's very ideal for a 5 round fight. Like wrestling and especially a guy who is good at takedown defense and grappling, that's going to be tiring. Like if this was a 3 round fight, I might be able to get there on the Gamrot side, but just overall in this one, I think Salkild's going to find a way to get this one done, whether it's by finish or by decision. And yeah, I just don't give Gamrot much finishing upside here, and I think he's going to end up stuck on the feet with Salkilld and end up getting beat up. One thing to note about Gamrot is when he's like striking, he definitely looks a lot better when he's moving forward rather than when he's getting backed up. And I think he's going to get backed up here. If you guys have watched the Dan Hooker versus Gamrot fight, I think this fight can look something similar to that. I think, he's going to end up failing some takedowns. Salkild's going to stuff him. Salkild's going to end up beating him up. He's going to put a Gamrot on the back foot, and I think he's going to find a way to finish this fight. And yeah, I think there's a lot of ways Salkilld can get this one done. And I think at minus 135, this is a solid look for this weekend at UFC Vegas 120. So we will keep moving. With our next bet, we have Bryan battle straight up on the money line at PFL Charlotte going down on Friday today. This one, I like this one a lot as well. Battle, former UFC vet, Ultimate Fighter winner. And, he's got a lot of pathways to win here. He's going to be the better striker in this one. I think he's the better grappler as well. I think the only edge for Rosta in this one is the wrestling. And yeah, in Battle's last one in the PFL, which was his debut in the PFL, he went up against Johnny Eblen, got taken down a bunch of times in the first round, and then ended up getting put out. But again, that's Johnny Eblen. Dalton Rosta is not Johnny Eblen. They're two different fighters. Yes, they both like to wrestle, but they are not the same. And yeah, Battle's just gonna have the more pathways to win here. Rosta's really only gonna have one path, which is to pretty much take him down and hold him down. I don't really give Rosta that much finishing upside. And yeah, Battle's just fought much higher level competition and has much more experience fighting that competition. And, Ross is coming off 2 back-to-back knockout losses, and I just don't really like that at all for him here. That could be in the back of his mind. And yeah, Bryan battle with the home crowd. He's going to want to come out here and, put together a better showing than he did in his last PFL fight. And I think he finds a way to get this one done. So yeah, I like battle on the money line here. We'll keep moving. Next up, we got Juliana Miller inside the distance at plus 112. She's fighting on UFC Vegas 120. Yeah, not too often you see a 4-4 fighter as a minus 300 favorite on the money line, but that is the case in this one. But I do believe it is for good reason. She also won the Ultimate Fighter. She hasn't had the best overall run in the UFC as of late, but neither has Ravina Oliveira, her opponent. And yeah, like on the Miller side, like she's not the best striker. She's all right. She's like mainly looking to get the grappling going, but she's got some very good grappling and very good submissions. And on the Oliveira side, that is a hole in her game. I don't believe she has that many UFC caliber skills. I do think she will be the better striker in this one, but I don't think she's going to be able to stop the takedowns and stop the grappling attack from Miller. And yeah, I mean, in Oliveira's first fight, she got beat and out grappled by a striker in Tainara Lisboa. In her second fight, she got taken down by Stephanie Luciano and got rear naked choked. And then in her last fight, she got knocked out by Chanel Dyer. So, definitely not going the way that she was hoping. And she's fought at every weight class possible in the women's division as well. So, not exactly sure what to make of that. But yeah, I think, Miller's going to find a way to get this one done and, get the grappling going. I could see a TKO finish in this one or a submission. So that's why I know a lot of people are playing the submission this week. That would be my pick to get it done. But I just think, you play the inside the distance or to win by finish. You're covering all the bases. And yeah, on some apps, it's called to win inside the distance. On some, it's called to win by finish. In some, it's called to win by knockout or submission. So definitely, double check to see what your book says. But yeah, I think, she's going to find a way to get this one done. So at plus 112, I think there's some good value in this one. We'll keep on moving. Next up, we have a 2-leg parlay. We have Cheyenne Bowers and Manuel Souza. We have Cheyenne Bowers fighting on PFL Charlotte today, on Friday, and we have Manuel Souza fighting on UFC Vegas 120. So, on the Bauer side, I think she's a very good fighter, had some success in the LFA, and then her last fight was her debut in the PFL, and she went to a split decision with undefeated Sabrina de Souza. And, that fight probably could have gone either way. She had some good moments, and yeah, her opponent, Dana in this one, she's all right, but I think she's going to end up getting backed up in this one. Bowers is going to be pressuring her, and I think Bowers is going to have the choice to take this fight to the mat if and when she wants, but I think she can also win on the feet. And yeah, I just think she's going to be the, more well-rounded fighter, and I actually think she's going to get a finish in this one. I could see it being a decision, but, Bowers is somebody that looks to finish the fight, so I think she's a solid parlay piece for this weekend on PFL Charlotte. And then on the Manuel Souza side, this guy, he's fighting Richie Miranda, who was in the LFA, and Richie Miranda is making his debut on UFC this weekend. And yeah, Souza in his, contender series fight, he, was getting taken down a little bit at the start, then ended up getting a late knockout. And then in his UFC debut, he went up against Balaji Oki, and he also got a late knockout. He's a very, very good athlete. He carries his power late, and I think there's going to be a big size and power difference in this one. Yeah, I just think Souza is going to when he hits, Miranda's going to react, and Miranda, there's some things to like about him for sure. But he is willing to brawl and trade in the pocket, and I think that right there is going to be an issue for him. Whether Souza gets this one done by knockout or wins a clean decision, I just think he's going to be too much here, and this is too big of an ask for Miranda in his UFC debut. So yeah, at this parlay at minus 131, I like this one a lot. So we'll keep on moving. We got another 2-leg parlay. Ty Miller on UFC Vegas 120 going up against Billy Ray Goff, and Trey Waters versus Trucon Carson at PFL Charlotte. This one, put these two together, you get minus 117. I like this one a lot as well. On the Ty Miller side, this guy fought on Contender Series, looked really good. Then in his next fight, he went up against Billy Ray Goff. Not Billy Ray Goff. He went up against Adam Fugit and got a first-round knockout. Looked really well in that fight. And yeah, he's got really crisp boxing, man. There's a lot to like about this kid. I think he's got a lot of potential. And in this fight, yeah, Billy Ray Goff's going to be looking to pressure him, that zombie style. And Miller's going to have a sizable reach advantage in this one. And I just think, whether it's one shot or whether it's an accumulation of the strikes, I think his sharp boxing is going to find a way to get this one done. I'm going to go by knockout. Could see it being a decision, but yeah, I like Ty Miller. I think he's a solid parlay piece this weekend. And then second leg, yeah, Trey Waters, this guy was just in the UFC, went 2-1. It's kind of interesting to say that they didn't keep him around. But yeah, he's a good striker, and he's got the hands low style, good at controlling distance, some good straight punches. And yeah, I just think he's going to be a lot here for Carson. Carson is going to be looking at getting the grappling going, but in order to do so, he's going to have to close the distance. And I think Waters can make him pay there. Whether it's a knockout or whether he also wins a clean decision, I think he's going to find a way to get this one done. I think there's some pretty good value on him as a parlay piece. So those are the 5 bets for this weekend. We'll do a quick recap. We got Quillan Salkilld on the money line at minus 135 on UFC 120. Bet 2, we got Bryan Battle on the money line at PFL Charlotte going down on Friday today. The third bet, we got Juliana Miller inside the distance at plus 112 for UFC Vegas 120. The fourth bet, we got a two-leg parlay from PFL and UFC. We got Cheyenne Bowers and Manuel Souza. And the fifth bet, we got Ty Miller and Trey Waters, another one from PFL and UFC at minus 117. So those are the 5 bets. We will do a quick recap of just a late notice fight that got added and the updated opponent for Miles Johns. We'll talk about Gigi Canuto versus Carol Foro. I'm going to go with Canuto in this one. I like Foro. I do look very good at Contender Series against Chanel Dyer, but this is a totally different matchup in this one. And I get it. If you watch The Ultimate Fighter, you saw Canuto's fight and how she ended up losing. And trust me, I didn't like to see that either. But what I do believe is that if Canuto didn't have that fight and she just came out of the LFA, this fight would have been a lot closer to a pick 'em in my opinion. She might even be the favorite in this one. So, I think the under 2.5 is also worth a look because, yes, I do think that if she isn't able to get her grappling going, there's a good chance she ends up getting KO'd. But I think she's going to get the takedowns. I think she's going to get a round 1 submission. So I sprinkled Canuto at plus 280. I think she's around that plus 220 range. I don't think she's a bad underdog by any means this week. And then on Miles John, short notice replacement, he is going up against a Gianni Vazquez. Same kind of thing as the breakdown against Rosa. I'm going to lean towards John's getting this one done, but I don't want to take John's as a favorite. I'm going to say this is a dog or pass situation, and that Vazquez is also a live dog in this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. We went 3-5 2 weeks ago, 4-5 last week. We'll look to keep the momentum rolling. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys like the style of video and what you think of the bets. And yeah, good luck to all you guys this weekend.